What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to talk about a couple things. One, I guess probably my first real home defense setup that I've used here at the house, and then have an interesting little devotional to share. Something that I ran across this week that's just kind of a new kind of thought, or a verse that I'd passed over in the past and really kind of stuck with me. So really interested to talk about that a moment. But here we go. This is a Springfield XD-40. Bought it a number of years ago. It is a really nice handgun. This is one of the original models. Not the Mod 2, Mod 3, anything like that. Just the XD-40. Really had a lot of good luck with it. So we'll double check and make sure nothing's in it. So no magazine. As you can see, nothing in the chamber there. You see the ramp. It's a really nice handgun. Shoots pretty well. This one's in obviously 40 caliber, as it's an XD-40. And since I was kind of new to home defense at the time when I bought it, I was trying to look for things that I thought would be, the safest possible. So obviously, like most striker fired handguns, it's got the trigger safety there. And these also have a grip safety, which was kind of new to me. But I thought, hey, that's all the more protection you'll have from an accidental firing is that you have to have a really pretty decent grip on the handgun to have it go off. Just check it one more time. So probably the only thing now that I've gotten more into guns is the trigger doesn't release until kind of far back, it seems like, relative to some others, but still a really good shooting handgun. And like I said, I was kind of new at the time, and so I just kind of picked up whatever light laser combo I found at some reasonable price, and picked up this True Glow. Pretty nice. It wasn't expensive. I can't tell you what the model was because it's been quite a long time since I purchased it. And then really the only other thing that I did was I put some Ameriglow night sights on it. The same model that I put on the shield, if you saw that video. They're actually pretty good. Now I will say, I didn't know it when I was going into it, so I was trying to put those sights on myself. And Springfield apparently is notorious for their sights being super tight. So you see they're just kind of dovetailed in, front and rear. But man, they are tight. When I went to go get them out with a sight pusher, the front sight broke completely off, and eventually had to get a professional to finish the job. And so I would not recommend, if you have a Springfield, I don't think I would recommend trying a sight job yourself. I'd probably just go ahead and take it to a professional, assuming that they're still making them the same way that they used to. But the gunsmith was not surprised at all to hear that I had trouble changing out the sights on a Springfield handgun. So take that for what it's worth. If you want to get a sight job done, I would just take it to a professional. And I know they've got quite a number of additional models now, updated models. I haven't had the experience of trying any of those, but this one has served me well. Shoot it pretty well, and there you go. All right, moving on to our devotional. This one's going to come from Luke 16:41. And maybe before I start that, just a couple of notes or thoughts, I guess. I think I kind of covered it maybe in the first video, but probably not a whole lot of people watch that since this is new, and I'm not sure how this will take off. But getting into kind of maybe closer to middle age and really trying to think through purpose for life and what's my purpose specifically. And it really felt like, from a spiritual sense, I really needed to find a way to help others and really, I don't know, make a difference. And I've been kind of struggling with that and thinking about, how much longer will I be working, and is there a time for a change? Do I need to be doing anything different? And just been kind of wrestling with those sorts of things, and then eventually, whether good, bad, or indifferent, this kind of idea popped into my head to start doing this, in hopes that maybe this could be an avenue to help others, and to be maybe some sort of ministry, if you will. But anyway, just wanted to give a little bit more background as to why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing. But moving on, Luke 16:41. This is a verse that I just kind of passed over when reading Luke. And the verse reads, and I'm kind of paraphrasing because I'm not looking, as he approached Jerusalem, he looked over the city and wept. So the devotion that I read kind of related to that was interesting, because it talks a lot about what Jesus knew was going to happen. He knew that he was going to go in and preach the good news to the people, and the people were not going to accept it. That the people were going to continue to live under their own understanding and their own religious framework, and basically lived how they thought was right. And Jesus wept over the fact that he knew that was going to happen, that he was going to bring the good news, share exactly what they needed to know, and that they were going to reject it. And then that got me thinking about, when you see people questioning God, they look around the world and see all these bad things that happen, and people getting sick, and people dying in war, and all the things that are terrible by human standards, for sure. And one of their questions is, well, how could a God be good if these kinds of things are happening? I mean, if you've read the Bible much, if you grew up in church, one of the things you know is sin. It's people, right? It went back to the first two people on earth. When sin was introduced, tempted by the devil, sin was introduced, and that's eventually led to where we are now. And God is not punishing people. And I guess maybe back to one of the other points, why would a good God send people to hell? Well, it's the sin that came through Adam and Eve, and on through everyone else that's ever walked the planet, me included, where sin is prevalent, and the wages of sin is death, as it says in Romans. And Jesus was the answer. And so God's not sending people to hell. Hell and separation from God is the consequence of sin. And Jesus' sacrifice was the gift, or was the payment for our sin, and is the means by which God has offered us salvation, a way to go to heaven and avoid hell, and with the goal of just, being in fellowship and relationship with us. And so, I think that's why it made Jesus so sad that he wept when he walked into Jerusalem, because he knew he was going to share the good news that could save these people from their sin and save them from hell and allow them to spend forever with him in heaven. But he knew he was going to reject them. So it saddened his heart enough that he wept. And so I think that's an indication of how good God is how sad it made him to know that the people weren't going to accept the gift that he was trying to give. So hopefully this is a little bit of encouragement today. Maybe it's arms you with a little bit of something that you can use when talking to non-believers about the goodness of God, and maybe help you tell that story. So until next time, stand firm, be prepared. God bless.